vis-a-vis.
Hey everybody!
Hello.
How's it going out there? Welcome to another fun episode, hopefully fun episode of Hair of the Dogcast, your friendly neighborhood podcast about beer and games.
And games and beer.
That's right. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And this is Papa B-Rad.
Papa B-Rad. Hey.
B-Rad, baby.
Hey Brad, nice to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah. Who do we have sitting in front of us?
I don't know. He just showed up. Who are you?
We have Andrew Gierczak, co-founder and owner at Mobcraft Beer. And I guess head brewer?
And my boss. I should remember you.
Oh, be careful what you say today, Brad.
I forget lots of things, so.
Yeah. Andrew's here.
Andrew, pleasure to have you on the show, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, our pal Josh is currently on assignment. He'll be back next time, but we wish him the best today. He's doing all sorts of fun things.
It's not easy working 80 hours a day at a bar, but...
No. God knows.
I do 10 sometimes, and I'm useless afterwards, so...
I can't even drink 80 hours a day.
He's a hard-working man, but let's get a beer open, because we drink beer on this podcast.
Yep, we do, Brad. What is our first brew?
I'd actually like Andrew to talk about this one.
So this is a little bit of backstory. This is a Secret Santa gift I gave to Brad for our Secret Santa at the brewery, and this is a beer that dates back to some of my earlier days of brewing, which is this is the Big Eddy Rye Barley Wine. So this is a 10.5% beer. It is currently discontinued, but hopefully the Liney's 10th Street plant will get back up to brewing that as quickly as possible because it is a tasty, tasty, tasty bottle of amber liquid.
Right on.
Bottle of amber liquid.
So fun fact about this beer is we actually invented a whole cocktail built around this beer called the Boiler Explosion.
What?
It's very similar to a Boilermaker where you drop a shot of whiskey into a glass of beer and drink it, except you have a 10.5% barley wine and you drop barrel strength whiskey into it. And it'll fuck you up.
Wake up in 2 days.
I mean, yeah, that sounds great. Well, nothing like starting off the day with a heavy hitter. Let's. Oh, it smells great.
Yeah, I needed this.
You sure did.
God, I love this beer. And and like most of the Big Eddy series, it only gets better with age.
Mm-hmm.
Why Big Eddy? Where does that name come from?
So Big Eddy is actually named for the springs up in Chippewa Falls from whence the original Line and Kugel's brewery gets its water. So when they made this, when they decided they were going to launch the Big Eddy as a brand, when they decided that Liney's was going to launch a line of premium craft beer to compete against the Dark Lords and all the other Imperial IPAs and other beers, they chose Big Eddy as the name of their spring. For the brand.
Do you think the big breweries are ever going to just put out an IPA? Will you ever be able to get a Budweiser IPA? I don't see why they don't try and take a little bit of that market.
I'm kind of glad they don't.
Oh, yes. I would drink it,
I think
course,
the world is a better place.
You think they would? That's something that people want to drink.
Well, they don't really need to make an IPA because they already own a few breweries that make some pretty awesome IPAs, you know? So they don't need to, that's the whole reason why they bought those breweries, so that they can still have an IPA, but it's just not a Bud IPA, you know?
Right. Because Budweiser is perfect. I don't know. You wouldn't want to change that, right? So what did you do at Line and Kugel's while you were there?
Just about everything. I started off in packaging as a temp, and then this is right after I graduated from college, so I got hired in Liney's pretty much right after graduating, which is pretty sweet.
Right. What'd you go to college for? Where'd you go?
Microbiology. I'm a UW alum, so I graduated from the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences.
Oh, right on.
With a heavy emphasis on food science, so very excited about that.
For me, beer is a life science.
Yeah.
It's not just a lifestyle, if you know what I mean. Hey!
When you were studying that in school, did you kind of always think you were going to take it into beer?
When I was in school, I was actually interested in everything. I mean, Brad knows a little bit about this, but I really actually started off by making moonshine in my dad's backyard when I was 16.
As you do.
And that's actually how I...
Wisconsin pastime.
That's the most Wisconsin thing I've ever heard.
especially when it's your great-grandfather's still that he made to use to make moonshine during the Depression.
Really?
Yep. So that's actually how we got started, was my brother and I found my great-grandfather's still, and we decided we were going to honor his memory by making some moonshine.
Oh, my gosh.
And it
awesome.
just kind of branched off from there. So in college, even though I was studying food science and microbiology, I spent a lot of my spare time when I wasn't doing homework just on forums, like learning more about distillation and learning more about making beer, making wine, and went to the library, and turns out there were quite a few books on the subject, and I read through them all.
Right on.
I did that with video game manuals. I read
Moonshine for
all of
Dummies.
the Kingdom Hearts game manuals. So it's kind of similar to what you were saying.
Brad, everything doesn't have to go back to Kingdom Hearts. You have to.
I've been thinking about doing a replay. We'll see. Yeah. So when
somebody save this man.
It's getting bad. So Mobcraft Beer, we're the first crowdsourced brewery in the world. When how did that idea kind of come along? Was it a drunk night, you and Henry, and too much beer in a garage or something like that?
No, it had actually started earlier than that because Henry, when we were in college, I met Henry through my twin brother, Tony, who went to Whitewater with Anthony, or my brother Anthony, who went to Whitewater with Henry. It kind of started out of Henry was really interested in the threadless T-shirt model because they had learned about it and covered they did a project on it in college, and so Henry was basically obsessed with this idea that, oh shit, people will be willing to pay you for something up front potentially if you can provide them something that they want. So that was kind of like the idea that kind of burst forth. It's like, oh well, let's try and apply this concept to beer.
So like the original like Kickstarter kind of
Yeah.
model.
It's very similar to Kickstarter.
Yeah. So what, threadless T-shirts?
Yeah.
So
What?
yeah.
Can we explain this?
I used to get threadless shirts because they were quirky and geeky, and emo
it
Brad
just a burlap sack?
loved it. Just a lot of T-shirt designs, and then once enough people like want to get the shirt, they'll print them. So
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
guaranteed sales.
They weren't literally threadless.
Not literally. No.
Okay, all right.
Block of Stone shirts or something.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm an idiot.
I thought it
as
was
people
good.
are well aware.
I wonder if barrelware is going back into fashion.
Barrel wear, like wearing a barrel.
Do you remember like in all the old cartoons when people would wear a barrel
Yeah.
because they had no
The
other
straps over
clothes
the
to
shoulder.
wear?
Oh yeah, we should do that for
Yeah.
something. You know.
I'm broke. Look at me. I'm standing in line with a barrel.
Almost wanted that to be my Halloween costume last year, but Morty, as you can tell, I was something else. I was something else for Halloween last year, Morty.
I didn't get to see your costume. I need to see that.
All right, so threadless T-shirts. How do we get to Mobcraft?
So basically, we had this idea of, well, these are essentially crowdsourced T-shirts. Why don't we pursue crowdsourcing as an option? Because like, basically, being homebrewers ourselves, we had kind of gauged the excitement of people who were really into homebrewing, of which at the time there were a lot, and there are still more every day.
Oh, yeah.
And so we kind of latched onto this idea that, well, these homebrewers are really excited. They're very, active on social media, and so we thought, well, maybe there's a way to engage this audience, and that was kind of where we took it. Was as our roots from a homebrewer, we wanted to engage other homebrewers and see what they were able to come up with.
Sure.
And then obviously, what homebrewer doesn't like a little bit of competition here and there? So
Right.
that's kind of all of those elements are kind of what we tried to synthesize together for Mobcraft.
Yeah, that's great. And what year was the genesis of the idea?
We started brewing in 2013.
2013? Okay.
And were you guys just handing out? I think you were just handing out sheets of paper, like to your friends in class, right when it started to vote, or?
No, like the very first votes that we had were actually just like online Google forms.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
And was it clear from the beginning that this was like an idea that you guys like? We want to get behind this. We want to get the ball rolling. What was the first batch of beer you guys did?
Well, I'll answer the first part of that question. So,
Second part's classified.
I like to do 10 at a time.
no, I'll get to it. It's just, so when we first got together,
Still good.
oh yeah, this is a classic.
Sorry. Please.
So Henry and I knew we wanted to start a brewery. I knew that for me the writing was on the wall at Liney's because I wanted to run a brewery and I knew that was never going to happen there. But I will say, like I
the
did.
last name.
Well, no, just because
to Gierczak's.
it was more about how because Line and Kugels is a subsidiary of Miller Coors, it was more about how their top-down management system worked. And
Okay.
I realized that as a brewer working my way up through the ranks, there was
Yeah.
never any way I was going to be able to accelerate to a management track through the traditional channels in a manufacturing industry. So
Gotcha.
when that became clear to me, because that's what I wanted to do, is my love is in plant operations, and that's what I consider myself really good at, and that's what I really like. And
Yeah.
so that was kind of the beginning of it, was this realization that Henry were like, well, why couldn't we open our own brewery? So that's exactly what we did.
That's awesome.
And the first beer that we actually officially brewed was a beer that we called the Participation Pale Ale.
Participation Pale Ale.
Participation Pale Ale. So that was our quote-unquote like inaugural brew as home brewers.
And was it bottled? Or?
No, it was just, we just kegged it up. I mean, we were still home brewing at the time. So like
Yeah.
it was just like, we were home brewing with the idea and knowing that this is what we wanted to pursue. So that's what we were going for. But I mean, as it kind of developed when we were home brewers, we would bottle it and then send it out to people who had participated. But that very first batch was just, that was the pale ale that we did, and it was super buttery and not great.
Yeah.
As most inaugural brews are for brewers.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone make a perfect beer on their first run. Drank a fair share of some bad beers, you know. A lot of home brews.
I'd still drink it.
Yeah, I still drink it.
mean-
There's only been 2 beers I've ever had in my life that I didn't want. But I like to not think about those too much.
There's a saying we have in the brewing industry, which is that no beer is so bad that no one will drink it, and no beer is so good that everybody thinks it's an amazing beer.
It's true. Just go to Untapped. So is this in Madison, or this was...
This is in Madison at the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you guys kind of had your start in Madison, Wisconsin. Right. So, okay. So you did that, and how long before you were able to open up a tap room, or?
So we were at House of Brews back then.
Yeah, so we were at, so we started off, like most brewers, we decided that we wanted to start a brewery, and then we looked at all the capital and effort and time and energy that would have gone into starting our own brewery, and we're like, nope, can't do this. Mostly because, not because we couldn't do it, but because all the banks that we went to told us that they would not give us any money for that. So
Sure.
Yeah.
they wanted to see, if they were going to fund us, they basically said, well, you have to prove that this model is going to work first. So that's exactly what we did. We had looked for a few breweries around Madison to allow us to brew at their locations. We actually approached One Barrel. We actually approached Carpin 4, an Ale Asylum, and they all turned us down because they were their own breweries and they wanted to focus on their own growth, and they didn't necessarily want to...
Breed competition?
Well, not necessarily breed competition, but, if they're brewing someone else's beer, all that time and effort could be
You're taking a capacity.
spent into producing their own beer and growing their own brand. So as a business, why wouldn't you want to do that? And totally understand. But then we
Selfish
finally
people.
found a brewery that was willing to work with us, and that was House of Brews. And so Paige, thankfully, took us under his wing, and we were able to start brewing.
Great.
Speaking of beer, let's have another beer. So this
Is
is
this
not...
technically beer?
Well, let's start off by saying this is Laughing Clown, not the Mobcraft Laughing Clown, but we found the Oddside Ales premium
malt liquor.
Premium malt liquor.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're just staying right in the category of high alcohol malty beers.
I know.
aren't we?
Yeah.
My whole goal today was
Wow.
like, let's not get too screwed up on the podcast today. But
I got
That
a
looks
bartend
beautiful.
later.
yeah, this was obtained directly from Oddside in
Which
Grand
is,
Haven, Michigan.
I believe that's the only place you can obtain it, isn't it? This beer is only available at their tap
So
room.
yep.
Yep.
And once I saw it on the menu, once I saw it was Laughing Clown, and knowing you guys, I'm like, I don't even care if this just tastes like ass.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will care in a second. I don't know.
Tastes fine to me. I used to drink a lot of malt liquor back in high school.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Yeah,
I trust Oddside Ales. They make good stuff, you know?
Oh, they do. Did you guys ever try? I have a couple extra bottles, but it's a sweet potato
Ooh, that sounds really good.
beer.
I have had too much sweet potato beer in my life.
There
Have you-
was St. Francis did a sweet potato beer.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's
That was
really
A-okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, St. Francis. Those guys.
They're killing it with some of their bomber beers lately. Like they've been off the charts in terms of like how good they are. It's insane.
Nice.
Not to say that like St. Francis is a bad brewery. It's just that I've
St.
never
Francis
seen
is an
them.
awesome brewery.
They are an awesome brewery, but I've never seen them put out like the kinds of like crazy beers that they are now, and it's really good to see them doing that.
That's
because
good, yeah.
They're all really freaking awesome.
Come on the podcast, St. Francis.
Yes.
We like that.
We're going to have lots of fun guests, I think, coming up soon. So I like talking to the people on the streets, the ones making the beers, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So okay, you had the breweries that weren't going to let you.
But we were at House of Brews.
Yep,
Yeah,
we ended up at House of Brews, and I guess the rest is kind of history. So we brewed there for a few years, and after a stint on Shark Tank, we were actually able to get enough funding. Not from Shark Tank, we did not end up taking a deal. I believe that was a good thing.
Turns out the billionaires don't know a lot about craft beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, as is evidenced by the episode.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So you met Mark Cuban?
I did not. So basically, when they asked us to appear on Shark Tank and we agreed, they said, "Okay, we will pay for one person to go down, and if you want to bring anybody else down, it's on your own dime." And we were still a very small company; it was only 3 employees at the time, and so Henry went because Henry was the financial guy and
the people guy
and the pitch guy. Like he's been pitching to investors constantly at this time anyway. So It was agreed that he was the one that would go there and make the pitch and talk to the Sharks because I would have totally screwed it up. I am
Dude,
not.
you were made for entertaining.
I made moonshine in my grandpa's still.
Dude, your television would have been amazing. I think if they would have brought you on, like they would have just given you your own show. They wouldn't have given you a deal for that. But
exactly.
Like, yeah. I'd watch you and Tony fuck around with like tools and make moonshine. That'd be a good show.
Oh God,
absolutely.
Moonshine Twins? No.
Yeah,
Moonshine Twins, man. That sounds great. And then like recurring character of Abby who just shows up like with some awesome food.
We actually used to have a joke about that because my brother and I used to joke that we were the Dukes of Hazzard because when we were moonshining at my dad's house in Greenfield, and I won't say any more than that. But at the time, my dad lived 2 doors down from a local sheriff. And so it was funny because my dad's house is built into a hillside, and so like we would moonshine behind my dad's house, which is up on top of the hill. And we could actually see the sheriff's car, and then we'd always be like,
quick.
No, we'd always be like, we'd always pretend to be the sheriff. We'd be like, them Gierczak boys are at it again.
Those boys are getting some fresh air. Did you ever go off any sweet jumps?
Yeah.
You know, that would have been nice.
Did you do any midnight runs? Down to the border?
I've never gone off any jumps in a car, but I did go off on a few ski jumps. And the first time I ever tried to go off like a 12-foot ski jump when I was like 8 years old, I ended up landing right on my head and getting a pretty nasty concussion.
Yep.
Womp womp.
That happened to one of my friends when we were skiing when we were young. They didn't tell him to go half speed for the jump, so this guy came running around the corner full speed.
Oh, yep, that was the mistake that I had made, too.
2 stories high and traveled half a football field, I swear.
Yep. Oh, my God.
That was the same mistake I made.
Bus ride home, it's like, don't let Michael go to bed.
Yeah.
So with the crowdsourced menu, or the crowdsourced beers, it's online, and it's been online almost the whole time.
Yep.
And they would come in, they'd pick up the beers at House of Brews that they would vote on that would win, and we would have beer on tap there sometimes as well, right?
Yeah, so that was the other thing is we didn't really have a tap room when we were at House of Brews. We were allowed, because Sundays were Paige's slow day, so we were allowed to like set up our own tap room in his place and sell beer.
Oh, cool.
And that's how we had a quote unquote tap room for the first like 3 years we were in business. Mm-hmm. And then finally we started to grow, and then we realized, okay, we need to get out of here because we had added like 3 tanks, and we were pushing Paige's Brew House to the limit in that brewery. And so that's when we realized, okay, we need to start looking for funding for our own location. So Henry, that's when we started putting together all the funding, and that's when Henry started making pitches, was in about 2014. We got fully funded by mid-2015, and then by November we were in our building and
wow.
running construction.
It's been magic ever since.
Yeah.
One thing I find very admirable about what Mobcraft does is with the model of people submitting beers, people can submit anything, which means that it's never going to be that stale. You're going to be forced to brew some weird things, eggnog beers and durian beers. And
I had a lot of fun with that durian beer.
I've never smelled a durian, but I've heard about them.
You should definitely try it, and I recommend all listeners to try durian at least once before you die.
Because it is this.
What is that?
There are a bunch of people right now that are listening to this podcast that are cringing right now because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the smelliest fruit like in the world. Is that what it is?
It's yeah. So it's durian is renowned for its awful stench. So a lot of people have likened the smell of durian to either onions or cat piss.
Okay.
But
my
the
two
thing,
favorite smells. Does that make it weird?
But
having a stroke.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
smell onions.
So yeah, so it's really stinky. But here's the thing about durian is if you can get past the smell, it's got the texture and flavor of the most like richest, most delicious vanilla custard you've ever had.
Really?
Yes, it's
awesome.
incredibly tasty.
I'm down.
And like that's the thing is like if you can get past the stink, the reward is this like gloriously custardy fruit, and you're like, how is this not real custard? But it's just a fruit, and it's pretty friggin' sweet.
So that I gotta try it. I need to.
What was it called?
Durian, D-U-R-I-A-N.
The name of the beer.
The name of the beer that we did was
Piss.
no, it was so that was a funny story, but it was actually originally submitted by someone as a joke on our website, and we were like, nah, we're actually going to do this because I had durian and I was super excited to do a durian beer. The name of the beer was called Don Durio's Filthy Mustachio, and on YouTube somewhere there is actually a YouTube video put on by me, Henry, and filmed at House of Brews called The Ballad of Don Durio.
Yep.
And it is hilarious. It is absolutely funny. But that was part of the guy who submitted. He's like, no, I want to do this. And it was pretty awesome.
That's great.
But yeah, so Don Durio's Filthy Mustachio was a cashew and durian pilsner, and it was delicious.
Does it exist in a bottle anywhere?
Oh, God, I hope not. It would probably be awful now.
You wouldn't want it if it did right now, anyways.
But it was
inspired by Don Durio's Filthy Mustachio.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
And I am Don Durio.
Oh my God,
maybe it's gonna happen now.
Oh man,
please try this. Actually, that kind of leads into a question I wanted to ask. So you people submit their ideas for beer. Mm-hmm. Now the group of beers that you put out were like, hey, vote on this group of beers, right? Mm. Do you pare those down to things that are doable? Do you weed out like just insane like ideas? Like, hey, I want to.
I wouldn't say we weed out, but we more curate now. So we've gotten a lot better about like curating recipes. So like anticipating, okay, well, we had a bunch of stouts come in, but it's the middle of summer. We're not going to put a bunch of stouts up for vote in August because that's not like we're going to do like summery or IPA or something that matches with the season for when the beer is actually released.
Okay.
Because one time, didn't we have an eggnog beer that came out in the middle of summer?
Yep, agnostic stout, and it was really friggin' tasty. It was really friggin' tasty, but it was just not the time for that beer to come out. So we've gotten a lot better about like curating recipes, like barrel aged beers. I mean, barrel aged beers we can do whenever because it's. Right. I mean, obviously, as long as you don't release a barrel aged beer in the middle of summer, you're probably doing okay.
Okay. But nobody's like submitted a beer like I want a beer that's a cross between a nice ale and Liquid Hammer, or like just something just ridiculous.
Oh no, we get submissions like that too.
Okay.
But we
I want a beer
that
tastes like unicorns.
There was one submission.
Alpaca.
There was one submission that was Kate Upton's Butlint that somebody submitted, and one of the ingredients they wanted was
asparagus.
No, they wanted Kate Upton's flannel thong and a rusty spatula. So, needless to say, that one never saw the light of day for obvious reasons. But we've had some pretty. We've had people submit some pretty ridiculous things. Like, I think mostly obviously as a troll, but it's also like looking at it, it's like, well, this is never going to go anywhere, but it's still funny to see.
I think
like people put a lot of effort into like
that's hilarious
stuff like that, and like I always anytime somebody submits a beer that we can put on the website that has like little puns or like funny stuff like that, automatic ringer.
Right.
When it comes to voting for beer, I tell people before they submit, the name is half as important as what kind of beer
At least as important.
Yeah. Because people want a really good pun. Puns are always good. Wordplay is a good thing. At least with beer names, in my opinion.
Love wordplay. And I love puns. Go to Pundemonium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
What's Pundemonium?
It's this event that they hold at Shank Hall like once every 3 months. And it's a pun competition, like a pun slam, where people try to.
Is that like Pundem Wing?
Pundem Wing, yeah. Hey, this guy. I know somebody who should fucking sign up for that. No, it's a lot of fun.
Do you guys remember playing Gundam Wing back in the day? Speaking,
I never did. No, but I know. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, I never. What's Gundam Wing? Is that like Power Rangers, but not as cool?
Did you never watch Gundam Wing?
I've never seen Gundam Wing.
Did you never play the video games either?
No.
Oh man.
I think
That's just Gundam, right? I mean, right? That's in the.
I might have
the
played
Gundam
like a
universe.
PS2.
Yes, it's all in the
Yeah.
it's all in the Gundam universe.
Yeah.
My Caleb's like super into anime, and so he knows the lore pretty much for every anime series that's on television.
Yeah.
Ever.
I dipped my toes in a few. I still have Cowboy Bebop. I have the series at home, never watched it, and everyone just kind of punches me when I say I haven't, and I own it. But
I'd never punch you.
I had never even seen #confession. I had never even seen Cowboy Bebop until 2 years ago when Caleb showed it to me, and I had no idea that it was a thing. And I love the cartoon, and I especially love the intro.
yeah,
I've never seen it. I don't feel inclusive to this group anymore.
No, I mean I haven't seen it either. But someone is just saying it's kind of based on music or
Yeah.
jazz or something. And
Well, the intro is a famous jazz song called "Tank" by a band called the Seatbelts, and the reason they are called the
love that.
Seatbelts is because you better buckle up.
Oh, baby.
Didn't.
all right,
Brad, what are we drinking?
and no,
Here
Andrew
at the
brought
Dogcast.
this delicious beer.
So
Andrew.
this is Samoa This by Southern Tier. This is
Wordplay.
yeah, exactly. So this is supposed to be a Samoa cookie and a beer, and it is an ale brewed with pink Himalayan sea salt, natural chocolate, coconut, and caramel flavors added.
is so good.
And it is very well done, and it tastes just like a Samoa cookie.
Right.
So
I don't want till 6.
unfortunately, they
pass
weren't
out
able
till
to get the Girl Scout logo on there, but that's okay because it literally tastes like a Girl Scout
What?
cookie in a bottle.
They have the one? They have the Girl Scout cookie in?
No.
No. They weren't able to get
Okay,
the.
right. No,
But
this
it's
is
still.
This is straight up awesome. It's so good. Samoa this. You have to have it. We have a question from Pete Ellick. Any of your beers at the Drafty Cellar in Watertown, Wisconsin?
I have no idea what's
Yeah,
going to be my
he's
answer.
too busy brewing beers and being a scientist. I know whenever Josh is around here, he mentions that we have different
Yeah.
beers coming and going there.
Yep.
I think we had
He's
the peanut
tapped them
butter
before.
porter there and
Yes.
got through it quick. But
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I love
no,
that
that's
beer.
an account that I go up to our salesman with like a hammer and I say, "You give them the best beers we got."
You must.
So yeah, I don't know if they're currently on tap, but they are definitely a part of that the lineup there quite
Yeah.
often. So.
Yep, I've seen the Facebook post. I know.
And as far as if we have played Anthem yet, I have not played Anthem.
I have not either.
I have no idea what Anthem is.
There you go.
What have you been playing lately, Andrew? You mentioned last night, 2 nights ago, you said, I just want to go home and play a bunch of video games.
Yeah, so my girlfriend is down in Chicago visiting some of her family, so I had the entire house to myself, so I went back to my place and played a lot of BioShock Infinite.
Yes.
A lot of BioShock Infinite.
That's funny you say that. I was getting the hankering. I think it might have been yesterday where somebody mentioned BioShock Infinite, and I'm like, I need to go
I'm,
back and play that.
Playing it through on 1999 mode, trying to get the Ode Lang Sign achievement. So,
Okay.
That,
You play that, Brad?
I gave you that 3rd edition Legend of Final Fantasy VII book.
Yes.
They have one of the BioShock universe, so it's the first, second, and then Infinite games.
Yep.
And I just read that, and then one of my other favorite podcasts, Watch Out for Fireballs, just did BioShock Infinite. And,
Oh, did they?
Oh,
Okay.
they railed into that game good about like the philosophies in that game that are
which are actually period accurate, which
But-
is the most fascinating
right.
part about that game, is they actually did a lot of historical research.
and the art design in that game is top notch.
Yes.
I'm not a smart enough man to know if the time travel things hold up. Where, spoiler alert, Elizabeth
lighthouses?
becomes a time traveling assassin who goes and kills every booker in the
Well, not time traveling, alternate reality traveling.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Sliders? That's why I love BioShock.
I
Infinite.
never watched it, but Sliders, John Rhys Davies, he was in there.
He was my man crush before I saw Ryan Reynolds.
John Rhys Davies was your man
Yes.
crush?
No bullshit. I watched a lot of sci-fi as a
We'll
young
let the
child.
ladies have Legolas. We want them Gimlis, baby. Not the
And my axe.
Sorry, that wasn't my man crush. I forgot.
It wasn't John.
No,
Rhys
no,
Davies.
it wasn't John.
Was it Jason
who was-
Bateman? Who was
Who was the main character for that?
was it O'Connell? Jerry O'Connell?
It was O'Connell. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. Jerry O'Connell was
yeah.
my man crush.
was
Sorry,
gonna say-
not the other guy, not Jeffrey Reese Davies. For some reason,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
For some reason, I thought he was Don DeLuise,
Stamp.
but that's an entirely different
Dom DeLuise,
guy
yeah.
who's a comedian. So never mind. I'm really bad with actors'
You're
names.
fine. You're fine.
I just remember sliders.
Just one more beer question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick, what would be a beer that you've had there where you wished you would have came up with? Like, you're like, God damn, I wish I would have.
Actually, I don't know that it's goddamn it I would have come up with it, but it's like, man, that beer was exceptionally well done. And it's actually a beer that's available right here in Milwaukee by one of our other neighborhood craft breweries, City Lights.
Okay, yeah. It's not Natty Ice.
Jimmy Ghostman over there makes a very mean coconut porter, and
Oh.
it's well done.
That's very
and it uses real coconut, which is the thing that I love about it. Because this beer actually has coconut. I mean, I think they say on the label it says coconut flavor.
Sure.
But this is coconut flavor that's really well done. It's muted. It doesn't taste like you're drinking suntan lotion, which is what I like about it.
Yes.
Which is, I think, the problem with a lot of coconut beers is that they end up tasting like suntan lotion because a lot of brewers don't really know how to use extracts in beer, unfortunately. But that coconut porter put out by City Lights is just mwah.
Oh, it's great.
Every time I'm over there, that's what I order because I know it's that and their IPA. They're really solid beers.
I have that same bad habit of every time I go to certain breweries, every time I go to Broken Bat, I just get the Corey Corey. The Mexican lager with lime is just so phenomenal. I should try other beers, but
Yep.
I know that I love it, and I just want what I love.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think with Broken Bat in lovely Third Ward, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they had the apricot IPA. And I think I was talking to you about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something that they have consistently, but that was one of the...
They are. I think they're working
Okay.
on making that a part of their regular lineup.
That I hate IPAs, like with the intensity of a million suns. However, that one was very good. I was like, I will order this on my own, and I will order another one after I'm done with this one. So good on you, Broken Bat.
Yeah.
Good on you.
And they just recovered from what would have been like for any other brewery, like a brewery-ending accident too.
Yeah, what happened? Or
So they were on city steam through the city of Milwaukee, and they actually had a steam pipe blow out. And so the thing about city of Milwaukee steam is that it's high pressure, which means that you can get up to about 150 pounds of pressure, which is high. So basically what happened is they had a steam pipe blew off, blew through the wall, and then hit the other side of the wall, and then the entire brewery got filled with like basically high pressure steam. And the entire interior of the brewery got up to about 130 to 150 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
So all the plastic melted, everything
Yeah.
was ruined. They totally, like all the beer that was in their tanks just boiled
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
So like everything was ruined.
Okay. I didn't know the story. I heard they were closed for a bit.
Yeah, their entire brewery was ruined, and it's just awesome to see them back up and running.
And nothing that they did.
Good job.
It wasn't
Broken
their
Bat.
fault. It wasn't their fault at all.
They didn't, so it's nice that was kind of covered then through insurance in the city or whatever, right?
I can't speak on that. I
Yeah.
don't actually know how that happened, but
Yeah.
I have to imagine that they couldn't have been held liable for that.
I was there last night, and I was drinking 2 Corey Corys. So yeah, it was good to be back there.
It's great to be back. But awesome. Well, hey, since here at the Dogcast is also a podcast about video games, and we've already started talking a little bit about the BioShock Infinite, which I think was an underrated game when it came out.
I love that game.
I think there was a little, I don't know, I think there's a little bit of piling on of hate for
It's
that
fun.
game.
It's
not
fun to
underwater.
hate games like after the fact. Everyone wants to jump on that we hate
See?
Final Fantasy VII bandwagon, but you got to judge it for its time. It did a lot of
It's true.
innovative, very cool things. This doesn't have the best shooting gameplay ever, but the world and the lore is so rich and fun.
Yeah.
To see the Beach Boys covered by a barbershop quartet on a flying
I love that.
dinghy, that was when you just take the controller, you can just set it down and you just watch something. You don't play the game for a while. That is a beautiful moment that doesn't happen enough in
It's
games.
great. Like that was like a total indelible moment in my brain. Like probably one of the only things I used to remember of that game. Like when the barbershop quartet flies up on the air barge and you're like, wait, what
Yeah.
period am I in? Why are they singing a Beach Boys song in Barbershop Quartet?
Why are there blimps everywhere?
Yeah, and there's like there's a slave lady singing like a CCR song like later in the game. Fortunate Son. I'm like, what? What is going on here?
They also sing
really
"Girls Just Want to Have Fun" too.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, I think I just got the chills.
Yeah, and the DLC was a lot of fun for that game too. It was fun going
Yeah, I never played
back
that.
into Rapture.
Yep.
Yeah, and it turned into almost a survival horror. The last one.
Yes, it does. I downloaded the DLC I think like a little over a year ago and just I played it like 3 or 4 times all the way through just for fun because I just absolutely loved it.
There's so many opportunities for different gameplay. You can
Yep.
do a lot of different things on there, which is cool. Do you play on the PS4, Xbox One?
PC actually. So that's the thing
Nice.
is I
Yeah.
yep. So I play it
Finally.
I play it off Steam. I've actually, believe it or not, mostly consider myself a PC gamer. I've never really gone. I dabbled in Xbox when it came out, and then we got the Red Light of Death, and I was like, "Well, this is a piece of garbage."
Then
So
I got another
then
one.
we-
And I
and
got that red out of it.
Halo was really good. I like that. So I had the original Halo for that game. I also had the original PC version of Halo too. But no,
Gearbox,
but I've always been a PC gamer. Most of the games that I grew up playing were actually like real-time strategy games. So I played like a lot of like Warcraft, a lot of
Age of Empires 2?
Uh,
that was my
a little bit. Actually, I played the game I ended up playing a lot was Empire Earth.
Okay.
Empire?
That was
Okay.
Empire Earth. So that
Yeah.
was classic RTS.
Right on.
Very, very much obviously in the same in the vein of Age of Empires, although admittedly nowhere near as good.
Absolutely. Did you play Warcraft when that came out?
I
Give it a
played.
shot?
So I played. I did not play World of Warcraft, but I did
like
play.
Warcraft 1, 2.
I played the first and second video games very briefly, like at a friend's house, and
Yep.
then I really liked that series. And so when Warcraft 3 came out, I purchased that and played the shit out of it.
Yes.
And then purchased the expansions for Warcraft 3 and played the shit out of those.
Right on.
And then played on. Oh God, what was it?
You
What
might
did
be our first PC
BattleNet.
gamer.
Do you guys remember
Oh,
BattleNet?
yeah, yeah.
I remember
You're-
BattleNet.
Dude, I was. I still play games, not as much, but I was total PC gamer, just all the LucasArts, like the adventure
God.
games, you know,
Yep.
Sierra, back in the day.
Yeah.
For anyone old enough to know what that that shit is.
Well, Sierra actually did Empire Earth. That's what actually made
Okay,
me.
yes,
Yep, the Sierra.
yeah.
That was Sierra, and then oh God, what else?
yeah,
Masters of Orion.
yeah.
So I played the original DOS version of that game.
Microprose, I think. Was that a Microprose?
Yep, that was
game?
Microprose. So
Fuck
then
yes.
Masters of Orion 1, 2, and then 3, and then actually
XCOM?
didn't play that one. I only played up to the third version, and then the other game that I started playing, which is also on Steam, that I've gotten really into, obviously in the same vein as Stellaris.
So, okay.
So have gotten very into Stellaris lately.
So you're like into the space, like
Yeah.
space, yeah.
But
ground.
again, but again, still in like real time strategy.
Sure.
Still in the real, like very heavily in the real time. In fact,
That's awesome.
the BioShock series is actually like my other than Counter Strike as a kid, was my first real foray into like first person shooter games. And I have to say it was a good one.
Oh yeah.
I had one friend who was just not a gamer at all outside of Mario Kart, and then the first BioShock came out, and he just became such a big gamer for like a very few things, but he would just be playing BioShock on 10th time, and it's interesting when a game can pull in a non-gamer because of the philosophy and the world design is so interesting.
Yeah, the setting, like everything about
Andrew
that game.
Well, the
Rocket.
history and the lore, like you said, for me, that's as a compelling reason as that's as a compelling reason for me as any is to play a game is if you have a rich history and an immersive story, I feel like it's the same thing why Game of Thrones is so awesome is because there's so much there.
Yes, absolutely.
I watched a YouTube video with George R. R. Martin today where he gave an update on Winds of Winter. And the update was, there's no update. It's
Perfect.
It's like I'm writing the
1 million views.
one page at a time. Hopefully soon. So, yeah, the new season starts April 14th or something. It's,
Yeah, mid-April
That's
sometime.
Sunday after the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, God.
Yep.
That's going to be a heck of a weekend.
I think I also want to have a Halo party maybe that weekend.
I think you should...
Do you guys remember teabagging?
MGC?
Yeah, like that Saturday night. Like, if anyone wants to come over after the classic, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Brad.
We should have a Halo party sometime soon.
Yeah,
I want to
totally,
get a LAN party together. I haven't done that in a
All right,
while.
which Halo are we talking here, though?
Halos 1, 2, 3, and Reach.
Oh, all okay.
We
all
can
right.
play all of them. We can play
All right.
all of them. No
I've
need
never
to
played
exclude it.
Reach. I've only played.
I only play Halo Wars.
Yeah.
So
Only?
Sorry.
Yeah. I did.
Sorry.
I
So
did
this-
never get to play that.
I actually never played
The
it.
Southridge Mall just opened up a new arcade, and it is amazing. It has
What?
30 rhythm games, half of them only in Japanese. There was a long
Yes.
tutorial, and I didn't know how to play the game, but they have a whole section too, which is they had some weird mech shooter from Square Enix, and you control things with these guns. The game wasn't that good, but I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's all
And-
with tactile controls, man.
It was one of the most impressive arcades I've been to in a while, and they had the 4-player Halo like arcade shooter, which was beautiful and clunky
Yeah.
and everything you expect from those. But it was very fun to shoot a grunt
Yeah.
like that, you know?
That's awesome. I'd love to play that.
Yeah, that
Good
was,
old spray and pray.
yeah. Give me an assault rifle, you know.
Yep. Dude, give me that AR any day of the week.
That pistol is where it's at.
I
Close
like the
range and
pistol.
sniping.
Sniper in any game, actually, even in BioShock, I
Yeah.
love the sniper rifle.
No scoping
Always a big
is
fan.
one of the coolest feelings. Yeah, close combat with the sniper rifle and Halo, and you just like
Yep.
hit your buddy. Oh yeah, Halo parties are the loudest I've ever seen me and my friends ever be.
Right.
Yeah.
And the drunkest in my case.
Oh man.
It happens.
So the Halo parties for me started in high school. We started before we were drinking, so we would go for 13 hours straight, and then fast forward a year later, and we were getting 6-packs of Bacardi something or other from our brothers. We weren't drinking good.
We were drinking UV blue and lemonade, so I feel ya.
Yeah, and
Can't
so
drink it to this day.
Those Halo parties lasted 3 or 4 hours.
Right on, yeah.
But I remember there was one morning I was asleep on the couch, and there's 10 other dudes sleeping in this room because we all just got drunk and passed out in the tool shed we were playing games.
Perfect.
And I saw this water bottle with water, and it was
wasn't
vodka.
water.
But I was like, oh. I took this huge drink, and my buddy was watching the whole time. He just started cheesing out. It was one of my worst mornings. I've had some bad ones, but that was a very bad morning. But yeah, I think a Halo party would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of graphics card are you rocking in your rig? If I may ask.
I actually don't know. It's not my computer. It's my roommate's. But it was over $3,000. So
Oh!
he's
It's like a fucking workstation? That's crazy.
he's using it to run Witcher 3 right now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's got more than enough graphics to handle what I'm doing. So it can do whatever. But
That's
like,
a beautiful game.
It is actually a beautiful game and like
Yep.
just huge, just massive,
It's
just
crazy.
insane how how big that game is.
Exactly. It is so it's insane. Like, and the level of writing in that game is some of the best I've like ever encountered. But yeah, even like the smallest quest that you take at that game just balloons into
Yep.
like this huge like
Yep.
multi-hour like and it just fucking it's crazy. Brad, it's crazy.
I have it downloaded. It's one of those million purchases I've made while drinking at night and something on sale half off.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'll play Shadow of War.
Steam sale, what?
Yeah.
Ching, ching, ching.
Oh, I know it. Oh, I know. the winter sales and the summer sales. Get
All the sales, man.
all the sales.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it's like, do I get Assassin's Creed Rogue now for 15, but I won't play it for a year? Do I wait till it goes to 10? Depends on how much beer I drink.
It's true.
You know?
And then you waited for the Xbox Live Game of the Month or whatever, and get it for free.
Yes, as well as Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, which I've only dabbled, but that is looking good.
That is a great game.
It was a Kickstarter from the original Castlevania creator, Symphony of Night creator.
Yeah, we might talk about this in a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I've only dabbled in the game, but yeah, so it was so much money was raised for the Kickstarter project. So not only are they making like awesome like new graphics one, but they also made an NES one too, just old school 8-bit, super hard.
It is fucking Castlevania 3, like,
which is the best of those old
but
ones.
a new version and with kind of like some updated mechanics, and it's so good.
You got the same composer, Michiru Yamane. Shout out, one of the best.
Gesundheit. Yes, no, the music's great. The graphic style is, I mean, they kept it almost entirely 8-bit, which is great because, you know, you have like Shovel Knight, games like Shovel Knight, if you ever played that, it's amazing.
Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are going way over my head.
So that was
right
a Mega Man
Where's
guy
this
for Kickstarter, and the game was just horseshit. I got it for free as one of those Game of the Months, and I played it for like 5 minutes, and I said, yeah, okay.
Right. So, Brad, have you been playing anything like lately besides Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let our fans think less of me. I've been playing.
Brad.
Gorsh. Yeah, I've been Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Oh.
Yes, I just finished watching the whole Super series, and I have just such a raging excitement. I didn't use hard on, that sounded weird, but a raging excitement for Dragon Ball. And Xenoverse was on sale, and it took a while to get used to, but it's got some fun story stuff, and I got into it, and I've pretty much beaten that whole game, and now I think I'm going to be borrowing Mario Odyssey from my friend, which is one of the things. Very big deal.
So the Dragon Ball Xenoverse game, I know I've asked you this before, and I apologize, but I don't remember the response.
You want to forget about Dragon Ball stuff?
No, I just want to know, it's not the Dragon Ball fighting game that's like...
No, that's not the new hot fighting game, which is like one of the biggest competitive things going on right now, but it's online, almost, I wouldn't even know what to compare it to, but Destiny is what I've played. So it's got like the shared universe, and you can like team up and do these big like quests. You can just fight people in the lobby. You can train with like Goku or Hercule or whoever you want. So it's just
Hercule.
There's a lot of things you can do in that game, and it's got fun music and silly voice acting, and they're my best friends right now. I just want to hang out with Krillin and Piccolo, so that's what I've been up to.
I'm so happy you have friends right now. I think the whole internet's really happy for you right now.
Yeah. After I'm done bartending, I just want to go hide and hang out with Krillin.
No, that's cool. I just wanted to make sure, just for the people at home. And
I don't know. Probably Mario Odyssey next. And
Odyssey is awesome.
I know Mario, it's a touchy subject right now because Bowser now runs Nintendo.
Oh,
nice segue.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, why?
We gotta give Bowser a chance, I guess.
Give Bowser.
Dude, make Nintendo great again, guys.
Yeah.
Man. So let's dig into some news right now, gents, if we may.
Yeah.
I think the biggest news this week was the fact that Reggie Fils-Aime, the president of Nintendo of America, has announced his retirement.
And he is a treasure.
As of April? He is, yes. He is. There he is. What can you say about the man? What can you say?
He's passionate, obviously.
Very passionate.
He's able to walk that line between accepting the meme and being goofy and silly, while also just embracing your business. You can tell he loves what he does.
Yeah.
And he's behind his product. And I think Nintendo, before he came along, they were in kind of a rougher spot. The GameCube was third place.
He started in 2003.
Yeah, GameCube's still one of my favorite systems of all time, but it wasn't doing good.
Here. Much love.
Yeah, he came out. This is actually this DVD set I have in front of me is the E3 2004, where he made his debut, and he just came out and he said, "My name is Reggie. I like kicking ass, and we're about making games," or something like that. And I don't think anyone ever associated Nintendo with kicking ass before.
That was the first time anyone heard anybody from Nintendo say anything like that.
Yeah.
And this man is a large man. He's a large man. So everyone was like, whoa, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just got edgy. Holy shit.
He even did some like call outs against Sony and Xbox and like their business practices. And why Nintendo is like, we're about fun, we're about the games and stuff.
Yeah, yes, he did. He did.
He came off a little crass to me that first one, but as he continued there at Nintendo, there was one time he was debuting the Wii Balance Board, and they made him come out, and he said the famous quote, "My body is ready."
Yes.
And that just became a big phrase, and he was one of the figures then. He was up there with Shigeru and Satori, and He's one of those people you're kind of happy every time he does something silly. Just does a silly dance and makes the room feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched some of his YouTube highlights today.
Yeah,
It
he
was
wasn't
great.
afraid to like make fun of himself, but also be the serious marketing guy. Yeah, he really breathed a little bit of new life into the corporate structure of Nintendo, which up to that point had been I don't know who he replaced, if it was still Howard Lincoln at that time or not, but
Forgettable.
forgettable, like just stuffy. And yeah, he, like I said, he came in 2003, and then in 2006 he took the actual helm as the president.
Yeah.
And I thought he came out with the video this last week announcing his retirement, which I thought was pretty classy. Just didn't do a statement, in the press. It was actually like, hey, so by now you probably heard I'm leaving, and yeah, I completely wish him the best. I think all of us here at the Dogcast, we love you, Reggie. He did have a quote here, and that I would like to read right now. He said, Nintendo owns a part of my heart forever. It's a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredibly
Literally owns.
Literally.
It's in his contract.
It is, yes. It is a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredibly talented people I've worked with, for the opportunity to represent such a wonderful brand, and most of all, to feel like a member of the world's most positive, enduring gamer community. As I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor, this is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to more time with my wife, family, and friends. So
Nice.
Yeah.
and he's rich, so even The Rock.
The Rock made a message for
Yeah,
him
The
today,
Rock
yeah.
shouted out to him on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, man."
And I think his biggest legacy will be that he helped create the Bigfoot pizza for Pizza Hut.
Obviously, yeah. Fuck Nintendo.
Yeah.
It is the Bigfoot pizza. Do you remember the Bigfoot pizza?
No, I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was like a 3-foot rectangle of pizza. It was
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All these memories just come back rushing.
remember that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that now.
It just looked like a big
That was
bowl,
like
racing track
was that like
pizza.
that was like the early 2000s or the late 90s thing, wasn't that?
That was 90s for sure. Even
yeah,
I
that was a 90s thing.
I was a kid. That was like the 1890s.
I remember that now. Yep, now I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a yard. Like that was the whole thing. Like
Yeah,
it was,
might have been,
it was a
yes.
yard, it was a yard long pizza.
Yeah, 3 feet. Yeah.
Yep.
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 Thank you, Reggie.
Words, yeah, just cannot express.
I know you were a 64 guy. Did you play the other Nintendos growing up too, Andrew?
I had a Game Boy Color, which I used to play all the Wario Lands. So at least the first 3
All
or
right,
4.
yeah.
So I played a lot of Wario Land, which I'm a Wario guy mostly because of that. Wario and Waluigi all the way.
I'm gonna win.
Yep.
I'm a Waluigi guy for sure.
And then it's me, Wario. And then so yeah, I played 64. But so I had Game Boy, N64. My dad had was it a Commodore? I think it was a Commodore.
Yeah.
Could be.
Commodore with the little joystick, and so I remember playing Space Invaders and Pac-Man and this one like Indianapolis racing game too.
Nice.
Which is pretty fun. So that
That's
was like
cool.
my first experience playing was on my dad's Commodore system, and then we got it was a big deal when we got saved up to buy an N64.
Right on.
And then I remember my grandparents came in and they're like, "Are there any video games we can buy for this that aren't violent?" And I'm like, and so long story short, that's how I got all of the Mario parties for N64. All of them.
Some of those could be considered violent, those games, though, too. You're smashing someone with a silly hammer or something
Yep.
like that.
Oh yeah, the mini games. Yeah.
I remember with the Smash Brothers, they were revealing that the Castlevania characters joined the new franchise, and Luigi gets straight up stabbed by death and his soul ripped out. I was like, whoa, dude.
That is dark.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty dark.
Luigi's dead.
He's dead. He's
dead
not
now.
coming back.
Completely. Yeah. Or the Luigi stare for the Mario Kart 8 reveal. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
They made memes
they see me
out the ass for that.
rolling.
Right.
They have a Luigi's Mansion game at that arcade too, where you actually like have
Haunted Mansion?
You're holding like the vacuum. You're trying to catch ghosts.
Yeah.
Very cool. That was very cool.
I remember
That's cool.
playing that at Walmart back in the day. Do you guys remember when superstores had game consoles and games you could just play?
The kiosks.
Yeah, the kiosks. They had. I remember playing Spyro. I remember playing Haunted
yep.
Mansion. Those were the days. I don't think they do that anymore.
That's not as often.
Yeah.
I was looking through my stuff the other day, and I still have a big CD booklet with all of my PlayStation demo discs from all the magazines.
Nice.
Just all organized in the jam packs, so I can play 5 minutes of every Tony Hawk's game whenever I want to.
Absolutely.
Oh,
as you
man.
should.
Yeah, as you should.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember when Star Fox 64 came out, and they were talking about this thing called the fucking Rumble Pack.
Oh, yep.
And I'm like, that sounds dumb. Who cares if my controller shakes? So I went into this game store and they had it to play, and I just was playing, and all of a sudden the controller started rumbling. I'm like, I need this now. I need this
Yep.
now. This is amazing. I gotta get this fucking thing. So yeah,
That seems to be like the least important thing that's happened to controllers, though. I don't know, like when a thing just starts vibrating when you're playing a game, it's almost annoying. I
you
love.
think it, but when it's not there,
But it's haptic feedback. It's
Yeah.
it's a sort of interaction with the game
I
environment.
need to feel this.
When it's truly innovative, it's like they had those movie theaters where they had the seats that move.
Yeah.
And I only went to do it once.
D-Box
And
or what are those?
D-Box. What a great name.
Is that what it's called?
And you're watching Harry Potter, and someone's just in the background throwing a quaffle back and forth, and every time they catch it, there's like a little hit on your seat. I'm like, no. It's like when you're dropping in the pensieve or whatever, give me a little whooshy feeling, or when you're on a broom, but I don't need to have haptic feedback for the quaffle. And so, like, when the
millennials.
rumbling is done simple, but some games, they just the whole time.
I remember having a rumble pack for Zelda, the
Yeah.
original N64 Zelda, and it's like anytime you went near a secret area,
Oh yeah,
That's
cool.
cool.
that's what I thought was awesome
Good
about it. Was
implementations
like,
of it.
yeah, that was. I thought that was like that was
Yes.
for me. That was like this is what this could be.
Yep.
And
Or there was like I think a Resident Evil game, maybe on the Dreamcast, where you actually had to buy
Oh.
the Rumble Pack for that. But it would, depending on your life or how, if you were like near death, it would pulse like quicker, just to let you know, like, hey, you're gonna die.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just like, oh, I got hit, but although nowadays if you do get hit, I expect you better fucking rumble.
Yeah. I was super happy with the new PS4 controller. The first time I was playing Grand Theft Auto, and you get a phone call, and all the audio comes from the controller, so it feels like you're holding a cell phone or something.
oh yeah,
That was a surprise layer of immersion. But Nintendo has always been good, segue, at being super innovative, like with their systems. And they're not. They're straight up. We're not about being the biggest system power-wise, but we're doing things that nobody else is, and we're being innovative. And the Wii U.
Yes.
That system did not do well, but when you play Mario Maker on that thing, that is amazing.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Mario Maker,
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just king of the segue today.
No, that's right, man. We're this is a total Nintendo episode for the most part, I think.
no
let
complaints
us
here.
Yeah. Mario Maker 2 has been announced at the latest Direct, and I wasn't surprised, but I was very happy, because that was the last thing that was on the Wii U that they hadn't really made a new version of for the Switch. Have you played the Switch yet?
I have not played the Switch.
You need to come over and check it out.
I'm ready and waiting.
Your body is ready.
While you're brewing beer in the back room, you need to have a Switch that you can just sit
Actually,
there.
I think what I really
play.
need is I just need to have my Game Boy and have another person with another Game Boy, and I could use my Game Link cable.
Yes.
Again, talking about innovations that Nintendo pioneered
Yeah, man.
was direct platform-to-platform connection for the Game Boy, which is something that nobody else was able to do at the time.
Yeah.
I remember my brother and I got the blue version of Pokemon, and my brother got the red version of Pokemon.
I was going to bring this up. You want a Gengar, you have to trade.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That brought you two together.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that we're twin brothers, but
really, no.
but also
Yeah.
also yeah.
I know I'm mad
still
at you,
hate
but I
each
need a
other, but-
Gengar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We do have confirmation from the Drafty Cellar that they recently had vanilla wafer porter on nitro, Queen Hazel on tap. Hi, boys. Hi, Josh. How's it going?
Hey, Buddha.
Yeah. He's
On the clock in the bathroom watching Hair of the Dogcast.
Yes.
Love it.
Awesome.
This is the best. This is best. Okay. And Twisted Metal with the Rumble Pack is the best.
Oh,
Twisted
God,
Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Right?
I don't know who pitched it recently, but I saw it online and they were talking about, they have all these Fortnites or whatever, these 60-player games.
PUBG and Fortnite, man.
They need to make
big
Twisted
things.
Metal like a 60-player, like super cheap version of Twisted Metal. Just
Twisted
like,
Metal was the one with the armored cars and the fighting, right?
Yeah,
And the
clown.
clown and the
Sweet
ice cream.
Sweet
Yep,
Tooth,
Sweet
yeah.
Tooth.
And that
Yep.
one guy who just had 2 wheels that he held on to.
Yes. Too big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
What the hell?
It's like you would lose at BattleBots with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Twisted Metal was great. I played... Twisted Metal Black was the one I really got into.
Yep. That was the one that I played as well.
It's PS2 or is it PS3?
PS2.
It was PS2.
Okay.
And it was all that Rolling Stones song at the beginning, that Painted Black. And I was like, oh, this is kind of
Yep.
sick. This is
It's a great song.
This is cool.
It's a great song. I need a little fucking sitar. in my
Yeah. Meow, 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 meow.
So yeah, Mario Maker 2 announced
Very
for
excited.
the Nintendo Switch. I think that made a lot of people happy. I had the first one. I didn't play much of it for the Wii U. It was the Wii U. Maybe that was it.
I fell into some Mario Maker holes because you just go on there and you just...
I love the autoplay levels. I downloaded.
I wish
All right,
there was...
so I have no idea what Mario Maker is.
So Mario Maker, they give you just level design tools for Mario 1, 3, World.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now. It's
it's-
basically, yep. Okay.
You got your stylus. You can just make your own levels, but
Yeah.
they didn't curate the levels. So you'd say you want to play a hard one, and some people just make those dickhead levels where they hide a block, and it's not good level design. I wish there was like the best of or more of a voting system, because you have to, in order to find other ones, you'd have to like get level codes online. But maybe Mario Maker 2. Nintendo's never been good at their online stuff, but yeah, Mario Maker is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that's coming.
So, and from what I got from the directs is now they added the ability to make slopes that you can slide down.
Yep.
And also control the camera so you can do the auto-scrolling levels that just don't go left to right. They can go to the right and then like start scrolling up. So you
Okay.
have to like, follow the camera before you die.
Nice.
And I'm sure there's going to be a little more. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how they handle the the actual creation of the levels, because when you have it in docked mode, you have to use a controller. You can't like sit there and there is no stylus this time for yet. for the Switch.
That's a good point.
So to see the interface and how that
Maybe you'd almost have to take it off the dock to design the level and put it back in to play it.
right,
On the big screen, maybe.
yeah. So hopefully they come up with something.
What else did they talk about at the Direct besides the revelation that is Assassin's Creed 3 coming to the Switch?
That was obviously the biggest revelation.
People are freaking out over that.
Hashtag the best Assassin's Creed.
Dude, are you trying to get some vitriol from the internet here? I like that game. It was fine, but yeah.
I was talking to you like off the podcast. I'm like, I think, and I mentioned on the podcast as well, that I think I'm the only guy that actually enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3.
I liked it too. It's really cool running
I understand
around with
why
George
people
Washington.
Yeah,
I
I,
love
understand
that
why
time
people didn't
period.
like it. I don't know. Like, I think the biggest knock it had against it was the beginning was too long. It took too long to get into
You
the
play as a
assassin.
boy for like 20 hours before you start playing the game.
Yes, that's why and then Assassin's Creed 4, the next one, they're like, "Fuck it, you're assassin. You're an assassin. Like
You're a
pirate."
pirate.
And all of a sudden, you put on
Yeah.
a piece of clothing, and you're like, "Shit, I got all these moves." So they, yeah. I don't know. I still like it, and it's coming to the Switch. So whatever. That's what I got to say. Bloodstained.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Bloodstained. Your Circle of the Moon.
Looks good.
Yeah, this is the first time on the newest Direct, came out last week, that I actually saw the gameplay of it, because I'd been kind of like radio, silent on it, and just. But it looks really good, really good. So I'm like really excited. So I guess it's coming out this summer.
Yeah.
They finally gave a release window
Yeah.
after backing the Kickstarter like 8 years ago.
It'll be on sale eventually, and I'll play it a year after I buy it. So
Yeah, so this is the game where it's a spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night, Castlevania,
very big deal.
by Koji Igarashi. Please go get it. What else? Oh, so the Battle Royale is a thing
Which one?
these days. Which Well, apparently,
I'm not into this. I'm not into that scene.
I'm not either.
I tried to play Fortnite once. I'm like, I don't get it.
no, I'm not either. But obviously, everyone has to have a piece of the battle royale movement.
Yeah.
And this time, I guess Tetris 99 came out for immediate play.
I played it.
Did you play it?
It's straight up Tetris, but like you're playing with 99 other people, and people get eliminated, and you have to see who's the best. I got, I think, 8.
So are you sending each other like asshole fucking blocks? Or
I didn't. There was things happening I didn't understand. I was just playing Tetris. I didn't hit any other buttons. I played Tetris, but I think you can target people. But that seems like a thing that I didn't play that deep. But it was cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it, but I would like to check it out. I'm pretty sure I'll play it once and probably not play it ever again because I don't like multiplayer games and I suck at Tetris. So. Yeah.
Noob. Sorry.
Andrew, I did like you. Not anymore though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people.
I remember the early days of the internet and the leet speak.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So what year did you start playing games? Like, did you get into them?
when I was a little kid.
Okay.
So I mean,
With the Commodore?
yeah, with the Commodore, and then
Did you ever play RoboCop for the Commodore?
no, did not have that one. Did not have that one.
I just always saw screenshots for that in the back of the Radio Shack.
Radio
flyers.
Shack. What's a Radio Shack? Oh wait.
Right? Hey.
Oh yeah.
Blockbuster. So speaking of, we were talking about BioShock earlier. The first time I saw BioShock was in a Blockbuster.
In a Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Right
And
on.
also, crazy thing, do you guys remember when Netflix used to be strictly a DVD by mail and game by mail service?
Yes.
Oh,
And they used to
sir.
have
Do I
commercials
ever.
on the television, and now, like, just seeing where Netflix is at now, it's like, whoa.
They're
It's
at the
crazy.
Oscars now. That's back in the day
Yeah.
when I actually ran a DVD copying business out of my own
Nice.
bedroom.
Hell yeah.
Business.
I didn't watch the movies, but I was just like copy, return, copy, return.
Yeah.
And I watched maybe some of them,
Sure you did.
but yeah,
no, that's awesome. Does Netflix, do they still do the mail?
you can still do that.
Do they still
you
do
can
that?
still do it by
they're-
mail.
I
They're
wonder how long
actually-
they're gonna keep on.
Well, there are certain things that you can only get through the mail as a hard copy.
So you can get
like
that-
certain older stuff you can only get through the mail.
I suppose, yeah.
Because like I'll try and like look for something on Netflix, and they're like, "Well, it's not available here, but you can get it by mail." And they're like, "Yeah, I don't even know if they offer mail anymore now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't even know
Mail's
if that's
not
like
even a thing
yeah,
anymore.
I know,
Fuck
right?
it, you know, if you can't get it digitally, you can't get it.
Yeah,
This is where the world is headed. So
I couldn't bring Dragon Ball Xenoverse to put up on the table because it's digital, and no one wanted to see it.
that's not true.
Aw.
There's at least somebody out there. that
Thank
would-
you. Shout out to all you beautiful
Somewhere.
Saiyans.
No, Super Saiyan, bro.
So you don't even know about the other Super Saiyans now. There's Rose,
Okay,
there's Super
okay.
Saiyan God, there's Ultra Instinct. Like, keep up here.
Bro.
They asked Krillin, did you seriously use a wish to turn that android into
No,
a
I
woman?
didn't. So
And he said, don't worry, dudes, she's 18. She's android number 18. It's a joke.
Yep.
all right,
Yeah,
for
I
that
get
person
it.
still with us. Speaking of games that look great, but I will never play. Apparently, there's a new Yoshi game coming out for the Switch. Have you seen?
I
anything
didn't
about
play Woolly World, but whatever it is, it looks cute.
this? It's Yoshi's Crafted World.
It's very adorable.
Art style is nice. You know, like it's.
I wish they, instead of turning Yoshi into like a kiddie franchise, they could have made like a Jurassic Park series around him, like where him and Birdo like go on a rampage or something. I don't know.
I think that's right.
it's-
And Wayne Knight comes out. He says, "You're Wayne Knight trying to get the Barbasol."
Who's what? Oh, Wayne Knight.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's got his shirt off.
Yeah.
You didn't say the magic word. You didn't say the magic word.
Love it.
Yeah. But no, I always like the art style. Like Yarn Yoshi, he's cute as fuck, man. He's cute AF.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And they did a new Captain Toad treasure tracker.
I did see that. Yes. Like a
And
new level or
That,
is it a new
it's
mode?
like- I don't know if it's just a straight up pre-release. So you can't jump at all, and it's just like this little square level, and there's like you have to go up platforms, but it's like puzzle solving without any jumps. And the first game was very charming, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I'm
Yeah.
not chomping at the bit to play more Captain Toad. It's cool. He's got his own franchise now. Yeah.
That's
Hi. I don't know if that's toad or not, but
that was really good.
new Smash Brothers dude announced.
So, yeah, there was a Smash Brothers announcement. I figured you could handle that because you're the Smash guy with your Mobcraft
It's the
tournament coming
Smash
up.
King, man.
I like to smash, Ask any of my friends, like Brad smashes all the time. He's the Smash King.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you're smashing at the brewery.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're all smashing at the brewery.
Yeah, man, I got smashed there once or twice.
Oh!
Once in the bathroom on the clock. Hey.
So Andrew, are you participating in the whole the making of the new Smash Ale that's coming out? Possibly.
We haven't gotten too deep into that. I think Dave's going to be doing that one because we're going to make one.
Who is Dave?
Dave is one of our many beautiful people that works there. We're doing a Smash Ale for
Dave.
the tournament.
Yep. I'm
Yep.
aware.
And then-
I'm excited and I'm ready.
Yeah. I don't know which ones we're going to do, like what hop or malt we're going to use, but we'll figure that out.
I think we need to find hops and malts that can pun well with
Absolutely.
Nintendo characters.
If there's like a Waluigi hop, that'd be really
Maybe we
convenient.
should crowdsource with the Dogcast community. Do you have any good ideas on what hops
or malts.
or
Yeah.
malts?
That's not a bad idea. People have any ideas, send them our way.
Please.
We're a savvy group.
And yeah, we have Funky Kong, which is a sour that Adam got together for something else. He's like, I have a sour you can name. I'm like, well,
Adam's always got sour beer up his sleeve.
yeah.
He can just pull it out like whenever he needs to. It's actually like quite an incredible feat that he's able to just be like, oh, you need this? Here you go.
We have 20 kegs of this for you today. I'm like, you didn't tell me this yesterday when I was getting things ready. So yeah, we're
That's
gonna have a lot of beers. The Milwaukee, I actually hit a keg from on inventory from everybody, so we could bring that back for that day.
Good.
Oh, really?
Well
Nice.
done. Well done, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the perks of running the inventory at a brewery. You can order the kegs. And
Hide certain kegs
Yep.
and then people forget about them. And you're like, whoa, we had this. Hell yeah.
yeah,
You guys do that on purpose, don't you?
He does it on
Let's
purpose.
go hide
Good.
this over here.
I don't tell anyone.
Good.
I put them in my
Good.
little corner.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
When is the Milverine going to be a downloadable character in Smash Brothers?
Whoa, yeah, that'd be great.
Can we get that ready?
Nintendo, are you listening?
Can we get that ready? For those of you who don't know who the Milverine is, look it up.
Yeah,
He's a local celebrity.
Yes, absolutely.
not fond of shirts, but fond of running.
No,
And he thinks Henry Winkler was a pussy.
that's
Oh, sorry. Am I not allowed to say that?
No, no one. We love Henry Winkler, but we do
He's-
think he's a pussy sometimes.
Yeah.
The old British style, which
guys.
means
He's
you're
our biggest
adorable.
Patreon supporter.
Yeah, he's our biggest
is?
Patreon
He's
supporter.
our
Henry
biggest
Winkler?
Yeah. He's,
No,
I am sorry. I am sorry. I was.
but if you were, we'd fucking love it.
No, I'm sorry. I don't
is-
think Henry Winkler is. I was
No,
just referring.
no,
I
no.
was referring to the interview, but I should not have brought
if
that
there's
up.
an article
probably.
here, the Dogcast doesn't like Henry Winkler. We love you, Henry.
We love Henry
Yes,
Winkler.
come on the podcast.
Is the Bronx
Please.
Fonz in Milwaukee?
Water
Yes,
sucks.
it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Everybody has had their picture with the bronze
I
Fonz.
have not made the
We
pilgrimage
do
to
a
the Bronze
podcast
Fonz.
in front of the Bronze Fonz.
He could be our guest. Put a microphone in front of him.
Yeah, we should do that. Great. Okay, and I guess as a coup de grace, since we're kind of running out of time here for the Nintendo Direct, they did announce what I thought was probably the coolest looking game as their final game, and that is the
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Did you know about that?
No. What
Legend of
is
Zelda
this?
remake
The Game Boy one.
of Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. Talk about
Is it way better than the original Link's Awakening?
Dude, that's probably my favorite Zelda game.
I've never played it. That's why I'm so happy.
It's
'cause I get
so
the-
good, and it looks like they're keeping the gameplay 100% intact, and it's just let's make it as pretty as possible.
Yeah.
Because this is the one where he's on the boat.
And he crashes on a dream island. He has
Yeah.
to wake the windfish.
Yeah.
And there's
wait, was that
Goombas.
Wind Waker? Or
No, this is the Game Boy, the old one. This was made in like the late 80s. The original.
Whoa. Okay, I get it now. I see it. I totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And Wart is
I
going to be
didn't know-
returning to Nintendo screens because the bad
He
guy
better.
from Mario Brothers 2 is one of the bosses there. So Wart,
Yes.
that weird big frog guy, will be back in the Nintendo realm, which will be cool.
Yeah, so this is like probably one of the weirdest, maybe outside of Majora's Mask, but kind of Zelda games that ever made, but universally beloved
Yeah.
for anyone who's played it. I have not. I didn't have a Game Boy at that time, and I did. So I missed out on this one, and I can't wait to play it. Like, just looking at the art style, everything looks like it's kind of like vaguely wooden, like just looks really cool. I heard it is from the same group that made Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Nice.
Came out a few years ago. I don't know if you ever played that for 3DS. It's essentially a sequel to Link to the Past.
Oh.
And it is... That came out the same day that Xbox One came out. And so right around the same time as like PS4. And I ended up playing that game like more than I did any of the new consoles. And it is so good. So I'm really excited. If it's the same team that did that game, count me in.
Put a pretty polish on top of that old gameplay and don't change a thing, in my opinion, because it was. I just beat it again last year, and it is
that game.
The Link's Awakening.
Oh, Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, and it is just a fun old school Zelda game.
Yeah.
Puzzles that back in the day I figured out as a little kid. As an adult, I did not have the patience to go through the same castle dungeon 5 levels and drop balls in different spots. Like, those balls dropped a long time ago, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Have you guys explored any of the numerous YouTube videos that attempt to explain the lore and the timeline of the Zelda universe and all the games chronologically? It's pretty intense.
They're not straightforward anymore.
Nope.
So it's like there's
Is the dark
one,
timeline?
and then it splits into 3 timelines, and different games take place on different timelines.
Yep.
And
In different like orders, right? Because it's like they'll release a game that's further down one timeline, and then they'll release a game that happened before chronologically in that same time in that same timeline or alternate reality.
Yep. Breath of the Wild, I think, breaks the mold though and isn't in any of them. I think it's in its own timeline now. I don't know.
I don't.
Cut to a scene of Doc Brown trying to explain everything to Marty.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Or even that one.
I love the fact that I think Nintendo just doesn't give a shit about all this timeline thing, but they always like try to frame it as
they have the intern.
we'll leave that to the fans.
Make something up for them. So
I think they just laugh anytime.
Exactly.
They're probably like, just sitting back laughing, like, look at what all these people are trying to do. It's great.
Yeah. Like, dude, it's just.
But that's how into it people are, right? Like that's the kind of that's what Nintendo does really well. Is Nintendo is really good at getting people into more than just the actual game itself. They've always been really good at getting people into everything else around the game. Mm-hmm. Case in point, Pokemon cards.
Dude. I still have mine. And I went to the Legend of Zelda Symphony Orchestra last year.
Where was that?
It was in Milwaukee here, man.
What?
It was
I
great.
missed it.
It was fantastic. And they
You
finished.
got off of work? Did you call in sick?
It was a weeknight, I think. But so they finished the concert, and then they did an encore, and then they did Link's Awakening. They played the Game Boy songs, first time like hearing with a full symphony. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I heard there's like a lot of woodwind kind of aesthetic with this game.
Yes.
Where it's actually part of the gameplay, I guess.
And part of the Link's Awakening is you collect 8 different instruments, and then the song you can play to Wake the Windfish gets a little more ornate. Back then, there's only, I think, like 4 channels of sound in the Game Boy, so you couldn't hear all 8 instruments. So, get ready. We're going to be getting the full 8 instruments for this one, so that's kind of fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Just because so that's coming out this year. I know they didn't say exactly when, but I'm assuming that's going to be their fall game.
Andrew, do you have anything you want our listeners to know about beers coming up, about your life?
Sure. Beers coming up. We have a lot of them.
Yeah, we do.
We've got some fun barrel-aged stuff coming out, and then we're going to be brewing a chocolate caramel sundae porter.
That sounds good.
Tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. Nice. So that'll be released in about a month.
Right on. That sounds really good.
I guess as far as other things I want people to know about me, I personally do not think Henry Winkler is a pussy. First of all, Henry Winkler, if you're out there, I would love to buy you a beer.
He's a national treasure. We love you, dude.
He is a national treasure. I guess the second thing is, PC games are pretty sweet. I think people should play more PC.
Absolutely.
I think the existing game platforms are awesome, and I mean, especially giants like Nintendo blaze the way, but maybe give some PC a little bit more love.
Absolutely. You should come on the podcast again, and then we can talk about PC games, because that's where I grew up.
PC to me means parental control or politically correct, so we need to change that. It needs to mean personal computer.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So you are welcome to come on anytime you want. We could just wax nostalgic on some of those old
All of them. All of them.
All of them. So it's like Doom. Remember Doom? That was a computer game.
Do you guys remember the 2-bit, the 8-bit games that you could play, like that came standard stock with Windows? So there was Minesweeper. Mm-hmm. There was Chips Challenge. That's it. That was what I was going to mention, and I couldn't fucking remember the fucking name of that game until just now.
Chips Challenge.
He's so excited that you knew the name right off the bat.
That game meant
I fucking
a lot
love
to me.
Chips Challenge.
That game meant a lot to me too.
What the fuck is Chips Challenge?
Dude, Chips Challenge. Dude, Chip. Dude, look it up. Look up Chips. Everybody listening right now, look up Chips Challenge, and you will either be struck by a lightning bolt of, oh my God, what is this? Like, I remember this game, or you'll be like, what the fuck is this?
I want to go home and play Chips Challenge right now.
Yeah. Wow. Do you remember that great music that they had? Mm-mm. Do you remember the sound you always made when you ran into a wall?
I need to revisit that. I remember those like green monsters chasing me, and just some of the bizarre level design where there's like they'd have, I don't know if they were coins or something, but some would turn into walls, and you had to figure out your way to get through the level, or one you had to like build a bridge across this huge body of water, like going up and bringing him back through. That was
it was a puzzle game.
That taught me. That was probably my first puzzle game, really. That was fun. And me and my buddy would just try and see who can get the furthest, and we get stuck on one level, and for like a whole summer. But I've since beaten it.
Hashtag Chips Challenge. Go check it out.
They should
Holy shit,
dude. Chips. If they had that at the Nintendo Direct, like Chips Challenge. Like 5.0 HD remaster.
Oh man,
there would have been like 10 people that were fucking pumped.
Except it's HD remastered, but it's still like 8-bit. Yeah. HD remastered.
Yes, it looks very simple. Keep the same gameplay, more puzzles.
All the puzzles.
Amen. All right. Well, on that note, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Andrew. It has been a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me.
Do you have any social media calls? Can people like get a hold of you anywhere, or just come visit you at Mobcraft?
I mean, I'm pretty much always at the brewery. My Instagram handle is Brewers Alchemy. So
awesome.
I'm working on a fun project at the brewery right now where we're trying to grow edible mushrooms off of our spent grain. So you can follow some of the progress for that project on my Instagram. If you guys are interested in edible mushrooms. Most people are interested in another type of mushroom, but those aren't the mushrooms that we're working on.
Okay.
Oh, that's the hopes are dashed. But I still like mushrooms.
No, I actually want the ones that won't fuck me up anymore. I want the regulars, you know? So that's cool, yeah. That's exciting.
That's great. Brad, can anybody reach you anywhere?
I have no social media. You can message Hair of the Dogcast, or I bartend Friday through Monday at Mobcraft. Come and see me. You can come stalk me. I don't care.
Actually, it's way better if you come and see him.
Yeah. And I'll pour you a beer, and we can talk about Kingdom Hearts or Krillin.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Chips Challenge.
If you come in and mention Chips Challenge to me, I'm giving you a free beer. That is a promise.
There will be people that will take you up on this.
I am so looking forward to it.
I'm just kidding. Nobody's, unless my mom comes in. Anyways, yes, you want to get a hold of a Hair of the Dogcast, all of us. We'd love to read any of your feedback on the air. You can email us at hairofthedogcast@gmail.com, or shout out to us on the Twitters at HotDogcast. And do that. It'll be fun. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, from all of us here at the Dogcast, please have a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Much love.
Very pro Henry Winkler and Reggie Fils-Aime.
We love you, Henry.
Peace out.
Hey, everybody do your fun.
Hey.